So good evening, everyone. Sunil ji and Nitin ji. So let's, people will be joining. So I think we have Anant, Akib joined, Mayank and Piyush and Nikita ji are joined. So, without, waiting any further, so let's begin. I'll start with my introduction and then Nitin ji and Sunil ji, you can start with your introduction and then, we can take the questions directly from the startups, if any. So, hi everyone, myself Deepak. I am based out of Bangalore. I've been into angel investing since 2019. At the moment, having about eight active portfolios, two under discussion, and two exits. I'm sector agnostic investor, and I've been investing into all spaces, especially into D2C. This call today, the agenda is basically to answer the questions and answer if any startups that would be having. So the startups which are participating today, you can ask your questions. Sunil ji and Nitin ji, the floor is all yours, and we will take the questions as and when the startups ask for it. The questions can be as silly as you it can be. There is no issues कि ये क्वेश्चन पूछना है क्वेश्चन नहीं पूछना है कितना भी silly हो whatever be your question, whatever be your query, please go through it, get it clarified. That will help you in the future. So the floor is all yours, Sunil ji and Nitin ji.
Thanks a lot, Deepakji. So myself, Nitin Goyal, I lead Back Ventures LLP. We help startups raise the funds as well as we invest. So we have been doing that for quite some time. Also, personally, I mentor. Plus, I have been a serial entrepreneur myself as well. Lost in a few companies, lost money in a few companies, and made money in a few. So that is my introduction overall, and that's it. So over to Sunil ji.
Yeah, thanks, Nitin. Thanks, Deepak. I'm Sunil. I'm an angel investor. I have got about 15 startups in my portfolio, sector agnostic. Um, I normally help the startups that I invest in their 0 to 1 journey. A few startups of mine have already gone on to raise the next round of funding, and that's my primary job. Groom them for the next round of funding and help them with their marketing strategy. So that's the full-time role I play these days. Thank you. And it's a pleasure, Deepak, being here on this forum, and open to any questions anybody has.
Thanks, Sunil ji, and thanks, Nitin ji. I really thank you guys to coming on this call on such a short notice to help these upcoming startups. So I think the members can unmute their mic and you can start introduction yourself, your startups, and if you have any questions at all, please feel free to ask anything.
Hi everyone, very good evening. So Mayank this side from Daily Live India. So in Daily Live India, we are building a SaaS platform for the nearest reliable contractors and the location-based job seekers. We have developed our platform and now we are launching in Bihar right now. Actually, I am from Bihar. So we are starting our startup from Bihar. Almost we are pre-revenue right now. We have revenue early traction around 3.8 lakhs in previous 3 months. Like we have launched in May 2024 in Bihar itself. So my question is ki now we are looking to expand or scale our startup. So for that we need to raise fund, and for that we need to calculate the company valuation. As for now, how I am calculating it, it depending upon like I have 95,000 average per month of revenue, so I am calculated it for the year and doing it 10 times, and that is one, and like that is almost my valuation I am counting it. But sincerely, when we were communicating with a fundraising consultant, and they made a valuation of our startup is 4 cr. And for that, Titan Capital was ready to invest 50 lakhs for 5% of equity and 10 lakhs for the debt. But like we need some more fundraising. So the main point is about valuation, like how I can calculate it more betterly.
Nitin, you want to take this?
You go ahead, Sunil. No worries. I'm just.
Yeah, thank you. So, you're Mayank, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I am.
From Daily Live.
Yes, sir.
Mayank, valuation is never cast in stone. Valuation is always a function of supply and demand.
Okay.
To put it very crudely, right?
Yes, sir.
How well you are able to convince your investor and आपको कितना जरूरी है वो पैसे मिलने का. It is purely a function of supply and demand. There's nothing, the traditional valuation methods जो बड़े-बड़े companies में apply होता है, that is not
Yes.
applicable in a startup for certain reasons. I'm sure you can read up. I'll not delve into the details, but I'm sure you can read up on those. So,
Yes.
so इसमें you are a SaaS you said you're a SaaS product, right?
Yes, sir.
And you cater to the B2C sector or B2C segment or
Both,
B2B?
sir. Both, sir. Both.
Both. देखिए आजकल SaaS ये जो 10x आपका revenue, if I remember, you said it's 1 to 5 lakhs, right? Monthly?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. 95,000 average. In last 3 months, we have launched 3 months before.
हाँ. So Titan Capital is offering you 50 lakhs at a 5% valuation, is it?
Yeah, 5% of equity and then 10 lakhs for 12% of debt for 2
आपको
years.
आपको the stage of the startup you are in, right?
Yes, sir.
आपको ले लेना चाहिए. आपको बाहर जाओगे ये वैल्यूएशन मिलना मुश्किल है. Because you're doing about a lakh a month, 1.2 crore, 12 lakhs, your annual recurring revenue.
Yes, sir.
If you're looking at 50 lakhs at a 5%, you're talking about a 10 crore valuation, right?
Yes, sir.
I wouldn't, if I was the investor, I wouldn't even give you 1/10 of that. I'm a SaaS investor. Most of the startups in my portfolio are SaaS companies. So I'm very familiar with SaaS valuation. I wouldn't even give you 1/10 of that. So 50 lakh at a 5% dilution, forget the debt part. Debt is, we're not talking about debt here. We're specifically talking about the valuation. 50 lakh, 5% dilution में आपको ले लेना चाहिए. Tomorrow you should go and get the check from Titan. If I were you, I would do that.
Okay. And sir, one more question about this. Like, this is not on the fundraising. It's about, sir, equity. Like, as for now, I am the only one in the company, and my mother is the director, and we are the 6 members working as a team, as like they are the interns. But now we are looking for someone as a co-founder, and we have 3 people in the line. And like we have 5% for the 5 lakhs for the equity for them, and one of them is from New Zealand, like he is Indian citizen but living in New Zealand, and he is offering 5 lakhs for 10% of equity, but he has very good technical hand. So what you think, what should be the barrier and what should be the criteria? I think I should choose the co-founder.
Um,
Well, let me answer you on
please,
that.
please, Nitin.
Yeah. So, see, when you are looking for a co-founder, and if the co-founder is living in New Zealand, I don't think they will, even if they are very good at technically, they will be only able to make the product for you. Okay, maximum that they can do. Making the product is not a big thing. By going into multiple ways, selling is bigger than making always. So if a lot of people can make software. Okay, I also have a software company, so I know we can make software, but if you are not able to sell that, that is difficult. To a
Yes.
long distance relationship will not work actually.
Mm-hmm.
So the key thing over here is,
Mm-hmm.
ideally, whenever you are adding a co-founder, what you should do is you should ask them to start working with you without any equity. Give them a small, stipend to them.
Mm-hmm.
And 6 months down the line or 1 year down the line, if you feel that they are very good enough to do the thing, they are good enough taking on the responsibility at a co-founder level and delivering at a co-founder level as well, then only you should give equity. So that's a cliff.
Sir, as they
Yeah.
are 13 or 15 year of experience, so they just don't wanted to work free for a 6 month or a year.
Not free, you can give them a stipend, right? You can write
Yeah.
down see, normally what happens is in India, I know it is a bit different, but if you talk about in US, 4 people join hands and start a company. The agreement of the founder agreement is written in such a way that everyone will get equity after 1 year. Okay, so whatever they will all get 25% each, but this 25% is divided into 4 years. Okay, so every year they are getting 6.25%.
Okay.
Okay, so that this is to make sure that the founder is there for 4 years.
4 years. Yes, sir.
If the person is leaving after 1.5 year or 2 years, then he is not getting that thing, and some other founder at that point of time will be there. So these vesting structures are made due to some reason. Okay,
Mhm.
and that reason is basically that not everyone can survive in a startup environment for 3 to 4 years, and without that, and no startup can be made big without giving 3 to 4 years.
Correct.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So one last question I have is,
Mayank ji, I think we should allow others also to ask the
yeah,
questions. We can
Yeah.
again take your
definitely,
questions once again.
definitely, sir, definitely. Thank you.
Yeah, hi. So anyone would like to have a question, I can please unmute your mic and please ask.
Yes, good evening, sir. Okay, Priyanshu, you want to go ahead?
Sir, you may go ahead.
Okay. Hello, good evening, sir. Sunil sir, Nitin sir, Deepak sir. And
evening.
myself, Ananta Gopal Rai. I am the founder of Transit Terminal AirTech, and we are building up a logistics marketplace. And in fact, my big time eye opener, Mr. Sunil sir, is already there. With whom I have already spoken about our fundraising part, where to be very truthful, so operations wise I'm quite strong, but I was very weak when pertaining to the financial part, where Sunil sir was really a pathfinder for me, like where to go ahead and work out how and what are the things required uh, for an investor to go ahead and have a look at the first place, to even think about investing their money into our platform. So here are a few questions, a couple of questions I want to definitely put across to both of you, Nitin sir and Sunil sir. So the point is like exactly what an investor looks at the basics part, because we are already making revenue in our company, which is close to around 3 to 5 lakhs a month, and we did our first audit from November 2023 to March 31st, 2024, and from April 1st, 2024 till June end, we have done a provisional audit. सर, टू बी वेरी ट्रूथफुल, मुझे एक चीज बहुत क्लियर चाहिए, लाइक आई वांट टू अंडरस्टैंड एग्जैक्टली व्हाट इज द पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू ऑफ एनी इन्वेस्टर, like from you all three, what exactly you look into in a startup pertaining to logistics. Sunil sir already know about this startup. What exactly you look into a startup to even think ahead to go ahead for to discuss about the investments? This is a very basic question of mine, sir.
So I think Sunil ji has already talked to you. So let me answer you in that sense. So broadly, I would say there are around 15 variables which any startup investor would see. It is not just one or two. Okay. We always see the market size. Like if a market size is very small, nobody would want to go get into, because that's no fun. That's not going to give me back that kind of returns. Okay. How good is your go-to-market strategy and how fast you are able to execute that successfully? Not, you're just executing and failing again and again. And if you're doing it for 3 years, that's a bad thing. How fast you are growing in terms of your revenue? Are you focused on path to profitability? Where are those dendrites, like, those sideway movements which can happen? And like, for example, consider yourself as a big center, but there are tentacles coming out of that thing, and all those things are basically making sure that you are solid, because there is not just one money making thing over here. Money is separate, but think of it like
He's
this.
talking about revenue sources, I believe.
Not just revenue sources, but you can pivot in those directions as well if you are
Okay.
doing bad in one. Okay, like for example, think of
How flexible you are to pivot your business.
yes. So that is also true, and the business business types is also there. How well it is aligning with the whole industry. For example, if I give you an example, Flipkart started as a e-commerce, okay, but now e-cart is so big that it is a big logistics company, and it is in your space, right? So they have now started working for Tata Click, which is also an e-commerce company. But if I tell you right now, e-cart can also is so big that they can be put on bourses like BSE or NSE as a separate company as well. Okay, an IPO can be done for e-cart separately, and it is that good. Okay. Similarly, when you talk about Amazon, Bezos started with only books, then other, and then AWS came in, right? They are doing AI, they are doing data centers and everything. Within the AWS, there are now 25 things which are, maybe 25 is a lesser number, 50 things which are coming in. So all those things, how do you understand those and how do you approach those is also good. Okay. So there are around 15 major variables, and if I consider all the sub variables, sub tasks or points on that, those points, there would be around 100 points which anyone will see at any point of time. Of course, not every thing is applicable to each and every business. Okay, but some things are common, like founder should be good. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Nitinji. Sunilji, would you like to add something, because you already had a lengthy discussion with Anant?
No, I mean, your question, the stage of the startup you're in, right? It's quite a bit about perspectives. You have individual investors, angels, syndicates, HNIs, and these days you also have micro VCs who look at pre-seed. So I will not touch institutional investors for now. But as an angel investor, right, the stage of the startup you are in, I would almost give 70% weightage to the founder. How is there a founder market fit? There are three things I look for in a founder. One is knowledge, which could involve, the knowledge about the domain you are working in. There are three primary things I look at in a founder. One is knowledge, the second is integrity, and the third is drive. Now, we may not be every time we may not be able to quantify these qualities, but by virtue of us meeting so many startups, when I meet a founder, when I speak to him, when I engage with him, I have a fair idea of where he stands on these three measures: knowledge or intelligence, you can name it however you want to, integrity and drive. So as a founder, I give about 70, the stage of the startup you're in. I give about 70% of my weightage to the founder. And the remaining 30%, I would look at, the market. See, again, the market is a little overrated because market is a very dynamic thing. 20 years ago, when Flipkart started e-commerce, the TAM of e-commerce was zero. Today, e-commerce has about 5 to 7% of the entire commerce in India. So TAM is a shifting metric. So I don't pay too much attention to TAM. But broadly, there should be a market. If tomorrow somebody comes and says, I want to invest in a Kirana store, I wouldn't want to look into it, because there the challenge of scalability comes up. Scalability is, that's why I'm so keen on software, because scalability becomes easy in software. Scalability is minimum investment, maximum effort. That is scalability for me. So I look at two things. Primarily, one is the founder, about 70% weightage, and 30% I look at scalability. I don't invest in traditional businesses. However, each investor, right, individual investor or a VC or an institutional investor, they have their own thesis, which they have sharpened over a period of time. In fact, when Nitin spoke earlier, I got a few tips that I hadn't thought of. So now I'm going to incorporate that in my thesis. So primarily, at the stage of the startup you are in, I always look at the founder. There is one movie, right, where they say it's all about entertainment. Here it's all about founder. Market, scalability, product, all that. If the founder is good, all of that can be developed.
Thank you,
That's
sir.
my perspective.
Thanks, Sunilji. Thanks,
So,
Sunilji.
Deepak,
One more point I want to add over here. You can think of like this. Okay, this is true for everyone. Like whether it is a stock market, whether it is a VC market, or whether it is a private equity, or whether it is startup equity, fundraising or investments. If you have a good management and a bad company, the things will work. If you have a bad management and a bad product, things won't work. A bad company, things won't work. If you have a good company but bad management, things are still bad, right? And if you have a good management and a good company, by company I mean the product as well as the other people in the company, you have got a blockbuster thing. Okay, both good items. So that will always mean that the management, which in case of startups is only founders, is very, very important, right? And for example, 3 sub points which Sunil has mentioned: knowledge, integrity, and drive. These are 3 sub points of 1 point, which is the founder. And those are most important when it is an early stage. Otherwise, like, over a period of longer time, they may not have a 70% weightage, but initially they have that kind of weightage.
Okay, thanks, Nitinji. Anand, I would also like to add as an investor. As an investor, what I look is a promoter comfort. How well as an investor I am able to implement or align my vision and my goals with the founder. So your visions and your goals also should align with what the investor is looking for. So there has to be a investor and a founder comfort, because any investor coming in your company is going to stay with you for at least 4 years minimum, and he should make your journey more pleasure and more easy, rather you both just end up fighting on the numbers, achieving the goals. Then you will not able to concentrate on your business and growth. So what I look at is how well I and the founder can align, and it's all about promoter comfort, how comfortable I'm working with you. And if I'm investing in you, I should be in a position to invest with you in next another 2 years.
Understood, sir.
right? So what I look personally is मुझे भाई वाला फीलिंग चाहिए फाउंडर के साथ काम करने के लिए, बाकी टैम सैम मार्केट वार्केट सब देखा जाएगा.
Yes, sir.
So
Thank you.
that is my side. Okay, I think anyone, Priyanshu, you had a question. I think you can take up.
Yes, sir. Good evening, everyone. Sir, I am Priyanshu Mohanty. I am the founder of Saffron Aeronautics Private Limited. We are innovating on
So what is the name of your company again?
Saffron Aeronautics.
Saffron Aeronautics. Okay.
Yes, sir. We are innovating on drone technology, basically focusing on the battery as well as the flight time. We are currently we are focusing on agricultural ecosystem, so we are building agri drones. So specific problem that we are facing is that how do we prepare ourselves when in today's scenario the agricultural drone ecosystem is getting saturated and more companies are coming into it. So sir, as an early stage startup, I want to get a view and about how should we prepare ourselves in such a kind of market where we see it is going towards a saturation point, or if I am wrong in interpreting it, if you may give your points view on that.
Sunil ji, Nitin ji, you like to take it up?
Yep, let me take it. Okay. So, Priyanshu, I understand the drone market a little bit.
Okay, sir.
And what I have seen so far is that people think that the market is saturated, but it is not actually. The problem right now, there is a resistance in the market that the farmer is not using drones because while it is difficult for him to get hold of drones, okay, in remote areas it is not even possible. Then there are other things which the government wants to do, which is biofertilizer or liquid fertilizers, which are, instead of one bag of fertilizer, you are only going to use 1 kg of liquid fertilizer. You must have heard PM Narendra Modi ji talking about that in a very, very good speech. Okay. But the thing is that it is not being used, and that's why there is a resistance. If you think about the bigger companies which are making money in this space, they are not making money in India, they are making money outside India by sending their drones and to big countries and like Netherlands or Europe or US or maybe Latin America as well. Okay, so that's where they are making money. So right now in India, we need a community-based approach. Okay, so when we are talking about the farmers, who is the actual user of this technology, you have to have some community-based approach so that you are connected to the client, the real client, where they are able to listen to you and you are able to convince them on to using drones, and the benefits are being told and everything can be done. On the other side, there is a this is a deep tech problem. Whenever you are talking about batteries, whether you are talking about lithium polymer or even the best ones, which is the salt based molten salt based batteries, which are considered the best in the world right as of now. So whatever those be, and by if you are talking about the flight time, then you are talking about the weight, using polymers, CFRP, GFRP kind of structures, so that it is useful, and the load bearing capacities, all those. So that is the scientific part of it. You understand that this is deep tech part. So your technology should be better than others, and your connect should be better than others as well. So these are two different things, and I think no one in this space has been able to do that. People are more reliant on technology as of now, but they have not been able to connect to the farmers. I don't think even 1% of the farmers in India are not using drone. Whatever we say, we can talk about it while sitting in air conditioned offices, but nobody is using it. That's my viewpoint. So in my view, the go-to-market strategy should be having some communities available, or whatever farmer producer organizations or organizations at the cooperative level within the villages are there. Company should be connected to them, should be connected to the biofertilizers or organic fertilizers or the liquid fertilizer companies, and then have good deep tech so that they are able to, because that certainly will be done by some other organizations as well in near future. And after that, your technology will also matter. So I think that's what
Thanks,
is my
Nitin ji.
take on this technology.
Thanks, Nitin ji. Sunil ji, anything you'd like to add?
No, nothing much, but I think I don't understand the drone space that well. I do receive a lot of requests, and I think as the founder, I'm sorry I didn't get his name.
Priyanshu.
Sir, Priyanshu.
Sorry. As Priyanshu correctly identified, I was under that impression, which now Nitin sort of changed my opinion, but I was under the impression that the drone market is quite saturated. I didn't look at it from Nitin's perspective. But Priyanshu, your question had the answer itself. If there is saturation, unless you find a niche within that thing, and a lot of startups have pivoted to niche markets because they couldn't find a product market fit in what they were doing. They kept on pivoting till they found their product market fit. That's the only, there are no shortcuts to this, Priyanshu. आपको कुछ कोशिश try करना है, it works, you achieve product market fit, well and good. Doesn't, pivot, find something else to do. That works, well and good. If that doesn't work, keep pivoting. Keep pivoting till you find a niche which you're comfortable with, and you arrive at a product market fit. That's the only way out. There are no shortcuts to this.
Thanks a lot, Sunil ji. That was really informative. I think we have Dr. Shrija who raised her hand. Doctor, you can please go ahead.
Hi Deepak. Hi everyone. Thanks for this opportunity to ask, giving me a chance to ask. So I am currently heading strategy for green energy startup. We are generating green electricity from ocean waves. Am I audible, Anant?
Yes, you're audible.
Yeah, okay. So, but the question is not regarding my startup. There is another startup of my friend. He's really very sound in the domain that he is into, but he doesn't have a communication skills better to explain to the investor. So in that case, would the investor mind if they hire somebody to just pitch? Okay, but again, if you have any questions, the founder will be able to answer. But kind of communication was a bit difficult task for that guy. But he's good at what he's doing. So, what is your perspective on that?
Nitin ji, Sunil ji, please go
Yeah.
ahead, and I will take this question in the last.
Yeah, right. I hope, Srija, you have watched that movie called Gully Boy.
I don't think so. I don't watch.
You
movies.
haven't. Okay. So I can just give you the background. This guy was writing a lot, Ranveer Singh, but he was not singing it, and he took it to somebody else, and he said that लिखा तुमने है तो गाना भी तुमको ही पड़ेगा, मैं तुम्हारा गाना नहीं गाऊंगा. I think
Right.
yeah, so he had to take that leap of faith to explain everything to other people. Yeah, and that's what I think is required over here as well.
Shrija, I would like to add, see, he's building a company and he's really good in what he's doing it. He
Yeah.
doesn't need to communicate in case, he is doing things on his own. But, when he wants to scale up his business, like, talk to another stakeholders, investors, it's like the investors would like to listen from him no matter how bad his communication skills are. Investors are open to listen, being the fact that he's the one who's building the company and he's the one who's going to run it tomorrow. It cannot happen like, he has someone to communicate on his behalf, that would not do. Yes, he should work on his communication skills.
And let alone the investors, even the customers, how would he get customers if he is not able to communicate what he is making, what is better about his company or his product or his service to the customers? Okay, so communication is a very, very essential thing, I would say.
Okay, I mean, basically, he has the communication. He gets partnerships and all those things are there. But when it comes to pitch and the investor, no, there is a kind of a phobia that he has, that he may not be able to convince them to whatever he's doing is good, or express his idea cleanly. That is
Right,
what. Yeah.
right. I can give you one more analogy over here, which is about when you go for a job search. A lot of people must have gone through job search in past, right? So most of them are not able to crack their first interview.
Yeah.
Okay, because they don't understand how to answer the things. But after doing it for 10 times, 20 times, they are able to understand that. They are able to know, they know what is going to be asked and what are the answers and everything like that. I'm not saying make a question pool and write some dummy answers for that, but be authentic and you will be able to do it if you start doing it. Okay, I used to be an introvert. Now I speak well. Okay, so I had to work on it. I could not just say ki I am an introvert and I don't want to listen to the investors or I don't want to talk to the investors, right?
Shrija, I have come across some of the founders, who are not really talking to the investors because at some point in time their ego kicks in. This is what I have experienced, when I'm talking to certain founders. If his ego is not an issue, then it's not a problem. But if then the ego is the issue in talking to someone and asking for funding, then I don't think so. You can also help him out much on that. But
Yeah.
if communication is a genuine challenge, it can be addressed.
Okay. Okay. Got
So
it.
you have to go back and first understand, is communication is the issue, or he doesn't want to sit in front of an investor and sell his business and ask for money.
Okay.
Okay. Sunil ji, anything you'd like to add?
Shrija, the founder, right? If he's capable, we investors are not judging him on his communication skills. We are judging him on his expertise in a certain area. So, and the second part is will be nobody will be as passionate and as knowledgeable as the founder. Even if he hires somebody to do it, that person won't be as passionate as the founder and as knowledgeable as a founder in that particular domain or area where the founder is skilled at. So this is something that can be built. Yeah, I have sat in probably thousands of pitches till today. Today, if you ask me to pitch to somebody, my first pitch might not be as good as I want it to be. Over a period of time, I'll develop that skill. So this is not something that's an overnight thing. You need to keep pitching to investors, and over a period of time, you will understand what you need to say and what you don't need to say. So that this is a skill that can be developed. I don't think that should be outsourced to someone. It should be a quality that every founder should have. But it can be developed over a period of time. It's not necessary the first pitch he comes to, he needs to be perfect. Investors do understand that. And we are not judging him for his communication skills, but he needs to develop that over a period of time.
Okay. Got it. Thank you.
Thanks, Rija. Do we have anyone who have any questions? I think you can take it up, please.
Hi, sir. This is Sunil.
Hi, Sunil.
Yeah, I'm from Vijayawada. So we are working on HR product like hospital management software. So Actually, the execution part, we are very right way we are executing the product, and so the main challenge is the marketing part. So, how we can there is any best way to manage the marketing side? So, what are the best options to define the go-to-market strategy and these things? Yeah, this is my question.
So is this a SaaS product or is this a on-premise software?
No, it's as per we deployed that in Azure Cloud. So particularly we used Azure services.
Okay. So and right now, may I ask, how do you market?
Yeah, so we actually aligned with the ABDM program. So we are integrate the ABDM Ayushman Bharat Digital Health Mission. So that's mandatory for the next coming years. So every hospital software should be compliance with the ABDM Ayushman Bharat Digital Health Mission.
No, but how do you market? So you have collaborated with them. How do you market? How do you reach out to the hospitals where you are selling it right now?
Yeah, right now we are manually visiting hospitals and clinics. So we are communicating and we are trying to convince the customers to use the product.
Sorry to ask so many questions, but one last question. What is the price point of this thing? Like, is it a 10,000 rupees software, or is it a 1 lakh, or is it a 10 lakh rupees software to start with?
Almost 10 users, it's cost 60 to 70,000.
60 to 70. Okay.
Yeah. Per year.
Yeah. So the sales cycle is long. I understand. In my understanding, the sales cycle is not that, you just go over there and in one sitting or two sitting, you are able to close the deal.
Yes, it's to take multiple sittings and it takes a little bit longer.
Yeah. So that will mean that in India, you need a distributor framework. Okay. So distribution through channel partners within those states or cities which are important to you for this specific. Of course, you have to find out where in which geography, what kind of audience you are able to cater to, and who are your real audience or your real clients, right? So, and then you have to have channel partners in these areas which should be able to talk to these doctors or hospitals on a continuous basis, so that you don't need to go to them again and again and again. Okay. And I think that is one strategy, of course, but there can be other, depending upon if this fails, then there can be other strategies. And in parallel, you have to make a brand, because there is a push marketing and there is a pull marketing. You have to do both side by side, and you have to become a brand. You should be able to showcase the testimonials, the standard top of the funnel, bottom of the funnel, middle of the funnel. You all have to do that. You have to take that, and your GTM strategy should be very clear. It's kind of omni-channel, because you are SaaS, right? So that is also there. Initially, it is difficult, but I think over a long period of time, it becomes easier when you are able to showcase that the case studies that you have been able to do that. And getting referrals is, I think, one of the key elements in this case. Doctors understand other doctors. You should talk to Indian Medical Association. They have chapter in every city all over India. If you, from your current clients, if you get into IMA meetings and you can showcase your thing over there, then it would be. It's more of a business kind of a suggestion rather than a startup kind of a suggestion. But yeah, because you are into software and I'm sure you are making money already. At least on the individual unit economic level.
Sunilji, you are into SaaS, so would you like to add?
Yeah. So SaaS products, right? To add to what Nitin has already mentioned, the starting point would be to create your, you need to find your target audience first. That would be the starting point for any a SaaS startup. You have to create a buyer persona, what you call an ideal customer profile. In this case, you've already identified your the buyer persona would be a hospital. Now you can drill a little. You can drill deeper into saying, if at a hospital, how many like I'm assuming the chains like the Manipals and the Apollos will probably have their own systems. This is an assumption because I don't understand the space. There's an assumption that they already have, similar systems. So now you're looking at a particular target audience of hospitals which have probably 100 beds, standalone hospitals which have probably 100 beds or less. First, you need to create that. You need to create a buyer persona. And after that, once you've done the buyer persona, you have to identify the channels where these particular buyers are most active. I think Nitin did highlight that. I will not get into the details, but because Nitin spoke about it in detail. And then you need to develop targeted campaigns for these channels. Whatever channels you think your buyers are most active, it may not be a single channel, it could be omni-channel as well. You build targeted marketing campaigns. And then you invest in advertising, and then you measure your ROI on these marketing campaigns, and then arrive at the most suitable marketing campaign for that particular buyer persona. This is what every SaaS startup does, and you probably need to go through this as well.
Thanks, Sunilji. Srija, I think you have a question again. You can please ask.
It's not a question actually. This is a kind of maybe a point I wanted to give it to Sunil, who is doing the HMS part of it. So Sunil, I've been experienced in hospital management. I was an exam for a multi-specialty hospital, which is around 150 to 200 bedded, which is similar to the kind of customers you are looking at. So, and I earlier I had developed the EMR kind of stuff also. In case if you need any help, any kind of insights from me, you can find me out in a LinkedIn, Dr. Srija Synergy. Please reach out to me. Sorry, I'm not
Thanks,
advertising.
thanks,
I'm just
Srija.
trying to help him out.
No, Srija, the intention of this call is to connect and collaborate.
Yeah,
Thanks
yeah.
once again for helping. Do we have anyone that has any questions now?
Hi, I am Nikita and I'm the founder of Ampana Creations. We are basically a marketing consultation firm, but we've also built our own virtual CMO, which is an AI chatbot that helps you with marketing strategies and needs of founders based on the data that you've given. So it's based out of certain questions to understand you as a founder and your brand, and then it gives in outputs ranging from strategy to actual content and tips to build your image, etc. We've already launched our MVP, which had 100 users try and test and give us feedback. And we moved into developing the second version through the help of Azure by Microsoft. The question that I have primarily is concerning that we don't see much of understanding of marketing and uh, the space in terms of AI, and market also looks to be very cluttered and price sensitive. So is it right to say that moving into a go to market strategy for the US market at the moment would be the right way to go? And is there any way that Indian ecosystem can be supportive? Because moving down to 500 customers and people who might be our ideal ICP, we could not get a clear understanding that will the product be very open to accepting what we've built in the Indian ecosystem.
Sunilji, Nitinji, you'd like to take this?
Yeah. So I would ask Nikita, what is your accuracy percentage when you are doing this virtual CMO thing?
Accuracy does not depend on our product because it depends on the data that they give in. So if you do not feed the right answers to the questions, you get the same kind of a strategy to as an output. So it's not like a journalist, like a chat GPT. It is trained like an actual CMO, functioning like an actual CMO with a knowledge base. But if there are certain 10 to 15 questions that you have to answer to be able to get the output that you're looking for. So if you don't answer those 10 questions, even if you give it a prompt, it will not give you the actual prompt. It'll re-prompt you to say you've not answered the question or you've not given the right information as we detect, and please answer the questions again.
Got it. And what is the percentage of people who are giving the right kind of right answers and who are not giving the answers? Or if you worked with 100 users, then how many were able to get benefit from this system, and how many were not able to get benefit from the system?
I would say 60 to 40, because at the first instance, 40% of people, as usual, did not understand how to prompt it well. So they did not prompt it to the well extent, and after multiple uses and multiple demo sessions is when they understood the actual use. But 60% did use it and they tried it on a continuous level, and their feedbacks were taken into consideration and the second version was built in.
Great. So those 60% of the people who were happy to do that, how many of them were willing to pay for it, and what kind of money they were willing to pay for it? Because those are the right guys, like, they are getting some benefit out of it. And now the question is how much they would want to pay for it.
I think 20 to 30% is what we saw as a willing percentage out of the 60%. The price is something that's yet to be understood, but when we launched our MVP to build the second version, $100 was something for the 3 months that we priced, seeing the competitive market across the global scenario.
Okay. And like this 20 to 30% of 60% or 20 to 30% of 100%?
20 to 30% of 60%, because the rest 40 who did not understand gave us taken into consideration of the first feedback that people do not have the understanding of rightly using AI chatbots. So that's another barrier that needs to be solved.
I think there is a point over here, and I think this point is very, very valid for AI companies. Right now, people do not trust AI. Okay. Because AI sometimes has some kind of hallucination or some wrong words, or sometimes the prompt, even if you are giving a very good prompt, like I can tell you 1 week ago, Saturday it was, and I gave a talk on AI, and I was showcasing something. It was a demo, not a presentation. So it was, something I was showcasing that, this is how it works. And ChatGPT did not work on a prompt which I had tested before. Okay. So think of 300 people face to face with me in in a big hall, and it was not working on the same prompt which it was giving me good results on last day, on Friday, when I tested it. So so I changed my prompt. I made it work, but people within those 30-60 seconds were sure that ये तो कुछ गड़बड़ हो गया, AI चलता नहीं है. I told sometimes you have to give better prompts and then it works, but people were not able to understand that, and that I think could be a trust issue. But other than that, if I come back to your original question, that would US be a suitable market for it? I think people are same everywhere. Even in US, people have more exposure to AI, but writing down prompts, they may not be even as good as we are, actually, because of the writing style of US people using slangs and short forms. So that's a bit difficult. Okay, so you need to do more user surveys in this area, in my opinion. to reach out to a point wherein you can say that this strategy would actually work. Okay, so that's my take on it.
Sunilji, like to add?
No, nothing to add. AI is in a very nascent stage, so it's going to take a while, for people to warm up to it. I think it's just a matter of time. Yeah, that's it, Deepak.
Nikita, anything else you would like to ask?
Any support that Indian ecosystem can give us, because we do not find anything collaborative or any fellowships, any grants, anything that we can apply to. Seeing the industry we are, because AI plus marketing is not something very easily available for early stages, is what we've found.
Nikita, I've come across few communities, loosely formed communities. Probably I can connect you to a couple of them, which is taking up AI at a national level. Speaking for startups that are into the AI space. So probably I can connect you to a couple of them, and I'm sure there are grants which have not explored. Nitin, maybe he may have a better idea on what are the grants available. But I think it would be good for you to be a part of some communities, where the founders support each other and they are addressing AI issues at a national level. I could introduce you to a couple of communities like that.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. The grants are, Nikita, available when you are working on deep tech, like you are making your own models, or you are training some open source models and then having some good idea on that, right? I am think as of now, as per my understanding, and I may be wrong, you are using a pre-built model by Azure or any other service, right? And you are not you have trained that model, and maybe on top of that you are using RAG or something like that. Okay, so you may not be considered as a pure AI play, right? That's my understanding, and that may be a bit in that case it may be a bit difficult to get grants, but certainly you can get you can get funds if you are able to showcase with a bigger user set. Like 100 users is very small data set. You have to have a big data set. I think using a service like Karya AI or something like that, you can have a big user base wherein you have tested more, and then you are able to showcase that 60% people are there, and how many people are willing to pay and how much they are willing to pay, and then people would be more interested in that stuff. And maybe at that point of time you will have some paying customers. I'm hoping you already have some, but you will get more and more paying customers out of that.
Okay. Thanks, Nitin.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Thank you so much.
So do we have any other questions now? I think we do not have any other questions now. So
we can come back to, I think there was a guy who was,
Anand has
wanted to ask something.
Sir, this will be my last question to all of you, all three of you. I will remember, Nitin sir, a line of yours where you said you need to have tentacles in your business, and that is what actually we have already figured it out. And Sunil sir, Deepak sir, you have to give us, that comfort platform for us to express those tentacles, particularly what exactly we have figured out in our particular field, which I have already discussed with Sunil sir, and Deepak sir is pretty, he know about this particular platform. And once everyone, all of you listen to us, lend us your ear for some time. What are the tentacles that we have figured out in this particular platform, sir? And I'm sure that that time will be worth of yours, actually.
No, Anand, we can have a one-on-one call with you. That's not an issue at all.
Yeah, I'm just expressing, myself.
Mutual convenience.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anytime, sir. Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Right. And
Um,
I'm saying that, one of the key things which is good and within this call is that everybody is asking questions and everybody is, trying to answer each other. Right. Not on all answers are good, not all questions are good, but the we are trying. Okay, uh, that feedback mechanism, something I may have said, and it may prove wrong in future, right? And that would be good. But if I am getting a feedback, so that's a great thing for me at least, right? And
On this, I would like to just add one thing, Nitinji.
sure.
As a investors, we have to be correct only 20% of the time. Please understand, 80% of the time, it's not necessary we should be correct always.
Yeah, yeah. I understand that. It's not about that, but talking about some things which are sometimes we do not understand each and every industry. Okay, even though we try to, but we don't. Okay, logistics. As you are in logistics, very difficult industry to be precise. Uh, I made a long back. I made a software for India's one of the largest logistics companies. They are right now as well, and Atwa president is a friend of mine as of now. All India Transportation, what Welfare Association. Yeah, so I know the president personally, so I get to know that it is very difficult space to be in, and you are doing something in that space. That's very good. It is needed actually for the country as well. Okay, but to the point, like to everybody, I would say that showcase your work somewhere. Okay, I feel that right now a 1 minute video pitch should be there by every startup, wherein they are able to showcase what they are doing properly and what are the good things about uh, their startup, and then I feel and post it somewhere. I don't know, LinkedIn, okay, maybe Instagram, maybe wherever you feel like. And LinkedIn is a good place, and I think uh, I would also certainly want to help those people who want to do that. If you have anything, if you want me to post that, I can post that as well for you on my LinkedIn, so that people people should know about startups. And if they know about startups, then somebody will be interested in that area. Like I may not be knowing much about logistics, and I may not be even interested in investing in logistics theoretically. Okay, or maybe Sunil is not interested in say drone startup. Okay, so he said I don't consider drones, or he thought drones are saturated, and I think there are not even 1% being used. Okay, so but in the future, like if we are posting it somewhere, so that uh, if I am posting it and now my 20,000, 30,000 people are looking at it, somebody may reach out and say, who is this guy? Who is Mayank? Who is Anand? Who is Nikita? Who is Sunil? Connect me with them. And I think that ways it will be a great thing to do. Okay. Right. Of course, because I lead Bad Ventures LLP, sometimes it feels like, I should put that uh, on my website as well, so that people should come and see and they should know that, we are doing good. Right. So, but I think these kind of ideas are also there, and we should try to do that. And I have written my LinkedIn ID on the chat. Hope whoever wants to connect, certainly you're most welcome.
Thanks, Nitinji. I think Mayank had a last question that time. Mayank, you can take your question if you have.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Maybe it is not the right question to ask here, but I would like to ask, like, you guys have lots of experience. So the question is, like, I am in Delhi right now, and tomorrow my pitch to the Shark Tank team for the season 4, like it is a phase 3. So I would like to have some suggestions from you, sir. If you guys have any experience or your portfolio company have any.
I can tell you, Mayank. because I know two guys who have got money from Shark Tank. Okay, and
Yeah.
one of the guys, Pratik Kedia from Wise Life, if you know.
Yeah, I
I
know
was
him.
sharing the I was sharing the podium with him last week with those 300 people. तो मैं बता सकता हूँ प्रतीक केडिया ने मुझे बताया कि he failed 2 times. शार्क टैंक में जाने से वो 2 बार उसका नहीं हुआ. Third time he could get in. The second time he lost. आपको पता है कि वो पहले 3 पेजर आता है, फिर 16 पेजर आता है, राइट?
Yes, sir.
हाँ, पहले 3 पेज का आपको फॉर्म भरना होता है, जस्ट सो दैट एवरीबॉडी नोज. पहले
हाँ,
शार्क टैंक में पहले 3 पेज का एक फॉर्म भरना होता है, फिर उसके बाद एक 16 पेज का फॉर्म भरना होता है.
Sir,
And
now
after
it's
that,
18. Now it's 18 this time.
now it's 13. ठीक है, तो प्रतीक ने 16 भरा था. तो
Yes.
आफ्टर दैट यू आर कॉल्ड फॉर अ मॉक समथिंग लाइक जिसमें कि एक्चुअल शार्क्स नहीं बैठे होते, लेकिन वैसा सही एनवायरनमेंट बना के और
लीव
लोग बैठे
होती
होते.
है, सोनी लीव की टीम होती है.
हाँ, सॉरी.
सोनी लीव जो है सर, जो उसे लाइव
हाँ,
होस्ट
सोनी लिव की
करती
टीम होती है. हाँ हाँ हाँ, तो वो होते हैं, वो आपका पिच देखते हैं, राइट?
यस सर.
तो वो पिच में अगर आप अच्छा नहीं कर रहे हो तो दिक्कत है.
ओके.
ठीक है, अब वो पिच आपकी लैंड करनी चाहिए. अगर आप वाइज लाइफ का वीडियो देखेंगे तो ही डिड सूर्य नमस्कार ऑन हिज ओन मैट एट दैट पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम टू शोकेस कि भाई एक्चुअली में स्लिप नहीं करता है. और नॉर्मली बंदा जो भी योगा कर रहा होता है वो योगा मैट पे स्लिप करता है सूर्य नमस्कार करते हुए, वो स्पेसिफिक पोज करते हुए. आई डोंट रिमेम्बर इफ इट वाज सूर्य नमस्कार और समथिंग एल्स, बट दैट स्पेसिफिक पोज में यू स्लिप जनरली. एंड पीपल हु डू योगा दे नो कि इस पोज में तो स्लिप करेगा.
ओके.
So he added that pose into his structure, into his pitch, so as to make sure कि हाँ उसको समझ में आए. And then he called upon, you remember, I think this guy from the Oyo guy, he or some,
Ritesh
yeah.
Agarwal and Vinita Thapar, they both have the
हाँ,
experience
they
of
both
yoga.
they both tried. हाँ, so he called upon them कि आप करो ना, आप करो. तो he made it very interactive to showcase कि मेरे क्वालिटी बेस्ट है, आप भी अभी ये क्वालिटी नहीं यूज कर रहे हो. And that's how he landed it, made it interactive, made it very good, and then he could do that. That's जितना मुझे पता था मैंने बता दिया. The second guy I know, his name is also Mayank Nagori from Gudgam.
Oh, I know him. I personally know him.
Sorry.
I know him personally. I know him personally.
Yeah. So of course, then Mayank must have given you inputs.
Yeah.
Right.
ठीक है नितिन जी, thanks. I think we took more than an hour now. So let's end this call. I would like to thank Sunil ji, Nitin ji, and every participants, to join this call until the last and staying on. We would like to have more calls like this in the future. My LinkedIn, I think people are already connected who are a part of this event because I was the one who organized it. So thanks everyone, and we'll be ending the call. You can connect with each one of us on our LinkedIn to discuss further.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Sir.
Thank
you
you
very much.
Thanks a lot,
Thank you.
everyone. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Have a great weekend.